Today I F up. Today I F up by telling my partner I was pregnant. I, 21 female, have been in a relationship with my very beautiful, lovely girlfriend, 20 female, for 4.5 years, and I love her dearly. One thing we've agreed on since the beginning was neither of us adamantly wanted kids. For storytelling purposes, she's trans and hasn't had gender reassignment surgery. I have polycystic ovary syndrome and can often go months without bleeding. Currently, I have gone almost 6 months without a single period. Insane, right? We don't really do penetrative sex, so pregnancy isn't really something I'm too worried about, but my doctors are very useless, and every time I've asked for some kind of treatment to help with PCO symptoms, they've basically just told me to do a pregnancy test if I'm not bleeding, even though I tell them there's not chance of it. What doesn't help as well is I'm extremely paranoid and prone to nightmares about SA, so if I go a few months without a bleed, I do a pregnancy test, partly to satisfy my paranoia, and partly so if I go back to the doctor for help, I can have a, "See, I did the dumb test and I'm not pregnant." Anyway, I used a different brand than normal this time around, and to my absolute horror, a strong blue line appeared. I was horrified, shaking, crying. I felt like my whole world ended and I wanted to just vomit. I had so many, "How could this have happened?" thoughts, and was imagining the horror on everyone's faces when I told them. My parents, my peers who don't even know my GF is trans, so they'd have questions, and more imminently, how do I tell my partner? It was 1 a.m., and I spammed her with messages telling her to call me ASAP. She very sleepily calls me and asks what's wrong, and I shakily tell her I'm pregnant. We're both bolt awake and panicking, wondering how in the hell this happened. I'm inconsolable. And then I check the picture again. There's 2 boxes. Test very clearly indicated that a line in both the big box and the small box means pregnancy. One line in the little box is just the control zone. There wasn't even a hint of a line on the larger box. I was not even a little pregnant, though. Cue my poor GF having to comfort me for the next half an hour as I slowly stopped shaking, and many embarrassed apologies from me about effing up this hard LOL. This is still a better problem to have than a baby, though, LOL. Top comments. The good, it will be a funny story later. The bad, having the stress of dealing with that, even if it was for a short period of time. The ugly, women's healthcare in general, I feel for you. Having to struggle and deal with dismissive doctors and people who either don't understand or don't seem to care at all, even though that's literally their job. It doesn't make any of it easier. I'm glad your partner understood and it ended up being a nothing burger eventually. Perhaps the silver lining is that you're now a little mentally prepared for dealing with at least some conversations in the future with family and friends. Getting a pregnancy test is absolutely normal and outright necessary in those circumstances, though. You'd be very surprised to find out how many women who swear up and down that they have no chance way to be pregnant are actually pregnant. Doctors aren't risking this for very good reasons. Doctors in the US, where this seems to really be a problem, should really be taking women's health more seriously, but holy moly, the amount of women who get offended at having to take a pregnancy test is staggering. Missing a pregnancy because you trusted someone hasn't had sex in X years, is a lesbian, is a sexual, and so on, is straight up malpractice. Please, people, try to understand this. Oh, I absolutely feel that. My boyfriend, 32, and I, 38, struggle with this all the time. PCOS is a B, and I'm on hormone meds plus an internal birth control. I've had to take pregnancy tests constantly because of how effed up period is. I've seriously done this. He's an Uber driver, and I called him in a panic while he had a passenger to let him know I was pregnant, and then realized I don't know how to effing read, so I absolutely get that. It's unfortunate, but things happen. It wasn't malicious. That being said, it should be a good reminder that even with PCOS, when you do have any sex that involves sperm being near or in your vagina, you need protection. Pregnancy is unlikely, but not impossible. I have PCOS and I have gone 14 months without a period. What they don't tell you is the longer you go with no period, the higher risk you are for uterine cervical cancer. It sucks. I usually overdose for multiple days on vitamin C to induce vaginal bleeding. I have learned that myo-inositol actually helped me to ovulate, but my 4 of PCOS doesn't allow the proper use in progesterone, so I wasn't building it up and having it drop correctly. No doctor would run the correct tests for me. They only wanted me to get on birth control, but that messed up my system so bad. I hope eventually you are able to get the doctors to listen. I have done the same thing, but luckily freaked out on my own for an hour before rereading and retesting. It is a very scary feeling. I'm sorry you went through that. As others have mentioned, this will be really funny in a few months. This made me paranoid. I misread the pregnancy test I took yesterday. This is all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and would like to see more related content, click the like button and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.